Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3.
There we go.
Yep, 3 of the DK podcast. This is our review / NFL preview, and I am here with my co-host Dominic.
How's it going?
How it's going, dude?
Tough
Been
break for you.
rough day, bro.
Yeah. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Never fun to have a blown tire. One of those things in life that just happens occasionally, and it never happens at a good time.
Yeah. I tried to watch too much football, and unfortunately, I found out that there is a limit to how much football you can watch in 1 week.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. So it's 2 games.
2 games?
Yep.
Okay.
And as I was sitting in the parking lot of Walmart, I was watching more football. So
there you go.
You can't really stop me from watching football. I'll just watch it in the Walmart parking lot if I have to. So
fair enough.
Yeah. We're coming off a W last night.
Yes, sir.
Lamar Tigers take the win 41-7, not 0. They ended up scoring there at the end against the Cassville Wildcats.
Yep.
So what were your initial thoughts? I know you weren't there at the game. You had other plans, but
yeah, so my prediction on score was something like was it 35-10?
10. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, they scored a little bit more. I kind of figured it would be the way it played out.
Yep.
We get a lot of points in the first half and then cool off in the second when we have our our backups in and stuff. So
turbo clock is not the friend of high scoring.
Yeah. Which I mean, at that point, who cares? So,
yeah.
It's all right. I was thinking about this. In high school, though, total points matters come playoff time, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I figured it played into the rank and stuff, especially if you have a tied record or something.
It's like something where, like, if you win by, like, 13 points or something, you get, like, extra. They have a point system. I really want to get into the details of that.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you play a team that's a class above you, you get, like, 10 points. If you play a team like Nevada that's 2 classes above us, you get 20 points on top of the 10 points you get for winning. So there's a point system there, and then winning by 13 points or something like that gets you extra points, obviously.
Gotcha.
So
yeah,
so definitely a great game for points.
Yeah.
We got off to another hot start, kind of like that Matt County game.
Yep.
And Chase was the one that did it this time instead of Carson, so it was nice to see that we have multiple people that can start. That was a beautiful pass by Alex. His first pass back from injury, and I thought he overshot it at first whenever the ball was in the air.
Yeah.
And then it just landed perfectly. It was great.
It was a great ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a regular post route, I think. He just got the inside, and then he laid it on him. I mean, that's one of those where oftentimes as a quarterback you underthrow it and give the time for the defender to come up and make the play, either to get the tackle or whatever. So yeah, great throw. I really liked Lamar's their offensive strategy in this game. I liked
Lamar or Cassville?
Lamar.
Okay.
I liked them both actually, but Cassville, I liked their first drive a lot. I really did. Yeah. But I think that they became really predictable after that. Mm-hmm. And I just not as talented. But when it came to Lamar's strategy, that's I think it was just like a deep slant route that they called for Chase later in the game that he dropped. Mm-hmm. That was a great play call because they had the tight end, or I think it was tight end or wing back or whatever, running straight to the flat, and so the corner drops down on that, and then Chase runs that deep slant wide open.
Oh yeah,
great play call.
It was about to be a touchdown, I'm pretty sure, and he knew it too. He's like, he saw that and just tried to run before he caught it.
It's one of those. I think even the announcer said something about it, but it's like one of those where you see the field in front of you and you just look at it, and then it distracts you from the ball.
Honestly, the offensive stats, there's nothing really that stands out. Like, obviously, Chase had 2 runs for 64 yards and a touchdown, but he was our leading rusher with 64 yards, and normally we have a triple-digit rusher.
Right.
So
well, the other thing that that's at least a new pattern is 2 special team scores in the last 2 games. So again, like you mentioned, I think in our last episode, special teams matters, and so to be able to be performing at a high level, it's a good sign for us, I think.
Yeah, definitely, and the defense stepped up. Really good playmaking on their side of the ball too. defense won the turnover battle and put us in great field position for multiple drives. It was great.
Yeah. I particularly liked our offensive play calling after they switched, I think, from some type of it was a weird variation of like it was like a 4-3 or something like that. And they eventually went to like a 5-2, and they were crowding the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And so I really liked our creativity where we were attacking the edge and we were passing a little bit more to just try and get them to be honest. And it worked, extremely well.
Yeah. Chase had 2 catches as well as the 2 rushes, and so he had a total of 145-ish yards and 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, he had one heck of a game, and those, like Carson's, were probably the first 2 or 3 plays of the game. And defense, we had 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss, and 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery on a punt. Speaking of punts, Chase has stepped up into a role that he hasn't played or didn't start at this year, and he's done a really, really good job, and credit to him, because punting isn't an easy job to come in and do without any practice.
Yeah, for sure.
He had 1 punt that got downed at the 1 yard line. I don't know if he made it that far into it.
I didn't make that part.
Yeah, he made it. He was at I want to say he was at the 28 or something like that. It was like a 70-yard punt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And got downed at the 1. It was a crazy bounce and just kept going. Aiden was the first one down there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Hey, special teams.
Special teams is crazy, man. Yeah. And that was the end of the third quarter. Was the punt. So
okay.
Yeah. Other than that, we played a pretty clean game penalty wise. We only had, I think, 3 or 4 penalties. So
yeah, a couple false starts. I think we had at least 1 false start.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one?
There was a hold.
Hold. Okay.
And then there was a couple holds, I believe.
Okay.
That's one thing I've noticed, like just watching back, I feel like we get away with a little bit of movement on our plays. I didn't really notice it until this past game, but we seem to move quite a bit whenever,
no, we're just timing it perfectly.
We're not timing it perfectly, though.
What's the Chiefs tackle that started to get calls now? All of a sudden, it's like it just depends on the game and the ref,
But
yeah,
it's pretty obvious from the cameras that we're getting in maybe half a second too early, but they don't call them. So if they're not going to call it, keep doing it.
Yeah, well, but the only downside to that is that you get to a playoff game and they start calling it, and it just really stinks. You know, you don't want that kind of thing to mess up your rhythm, your flow, and all that stuff. We'll pull this graphic up, but it just kind of cracked me up on this. I was kind of watching the first few kickoffs just because we had Aiden on. We're talking about special teams, and so we have the right side that's basically all right on. They were right on contact with the ball, and then the left side is just like a yard and a half, 2 yards deep. And I'm like, well, hey. Yeah. We got half of them on, and some of them that need a little bit of work here. But
could that be because they were kicking deep right, or
maybe that was the plan?
Maybe
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You had some other pictures you wanted to pull up.
Well, the other one that I wanted to look at is just something in particular to this one here. So for this one, I just you see
I
where
remember this play.
Just to see where the quarterback is.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't see his number right now.
It's 33 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it the guy right in the middle is basically wide open?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I noticed on this play and a couple others is that their quarterback is kind of shifty guy, a good athlete, I think. And this is a play where he doesn't even have to be accurate at all.
Yeah.
All he has to do is have some type of previous communication with his guys. Hey, if I'm scrambling, go to the open spot and I'll just chuck it up.
Kind of like, I don't want to compare it to professionals, but Travis Kelce does a really, really, really good job of finding it.
Well, I think the person who initially perfected it was Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. I remember watching him and like Jordy Nelson, some of those guys, and he would just come out of the pocket and just give a little finger point.
Yep.
Hey, just go this way, and and it didn't always work out.
Yeah.
But dude, I mean, you've got 10, 20 yards of free room to just lay it out and see what happens.
Yeah, if you point him back and he starts just backpedaling, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
And you're tied.
Yep. Because everybody's starting to crash on the quarterback.
Yeah, and that's one thing. As we get deeper into the playoffs, people are going to be able to throw on the run, and you can't. It's going to be one thing cornerbacks probably look at this weekend in film and realize I got to stay with my guy. And
well, yeah, I mean, especially this offense that we went against, a lot of different options for the quarterback. Yeah. And initially on that first drive, I think that it was effective. You know, we had a couple different options ran against us, and some of them were effective. Those quarterback keeps worked a couple times to get first downs, and then they had a couple pass plays that they were able to connect on. Obviously didn't get in the end zone that first drive, but I just saw this and I'm like, man, it's that simple of a flick, you know, a simple decision right there, and it's 7 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. There was definitely a couple mistakes that were made on the side of Cassville, but we've gotten away with quite a bit this year, but hopefully that's something we clean up come playoff time.
Yeah,
for sure. Did you have any other pictures you wanted to?
That's all I had for that. Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah. Speaking of our guest Aiden, he had one heck of a hit, man.
Yeah,
that was great to see him fly down the field and just absolutely. His mouthpiece went flying a good 2 or 3 yards past where he hit him. Oh, man, everybody in the crowd. You saw everybody on the sidelines getting pumped, jumping up and down. It was a great hit. Love to see that from our guests playing well.
Yeah, we got to ask him, was that one where you decided to break down, or was that where just you were going for
break
it?
Down. I know. the first one, I was like, all right, he broke down. See, he didn't get the tackle, but he broke down. And then
see, sometimes it pays off not to.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
but when you miss
this guy didn't juke at all. He's just like, all right, here we go. I'm ready. He wasn't ready.
Yeah.
But
what did he say? 5'9",
5'9", 130.
130.
Laying the boom, man.
And you know that's all speed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He's not coming in there with like 200 pounds or anything.
No. But yeah, so we moved to 7-1.
Yep.
And we've got senior night this next week. We won't touch in too much on that. It's against Hollister. Not a great team. No. But we'll touch on that Tuesday, hopefully with another guest. We'll try to get a senior on here and see how that goes.
Yep, that'd be great.
One game I did want to touch on was one team from our class who I believe in the semifinals, if we make it that far and they make it that far, we'll play them, is South Shelby. They're the Cardinals. I don't know where South Shelby is, but they played Centralia, and Centralia was 7-0 going into this game. They're a Class 3 school, kind of like Seneca is a Class 3 school. So I'm comparing them to Seneca. I don't know if they're as good as Seneca. And the rankings, Centralia was 4th, Seneca was 2nd. So, but South Shelby came in, or they hosted the game, and they won 48-14.
Yeah. They are located just a little bit north of Columbia, it looks like. Yeah, so a good ways up.
Yeah, so I don't know if we'll play there, if they'll play here. So I always find the playoffs a little the locations always seem to vary depending on who it is, and I don't understand it at all. Never have, never will. But that's one team I have kept my eyes on, and I circled this game before this week, and I really wanted to watch in on that one. So just touched up on that one, and look forward to seeing them in maybe the quarterfinals or semifinals, whichever one it is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Did you see any of the game at all? I don't know if they have.
I tried to look it up, and I didn't see anything. Okay. So
yeah, I'd be interested to see if they have a stream or something that we could see and just preview what their offense looks like, because as we're talking about some of these kind of plays and mistakes that could happen, against a better team. It'd be interesting to kind of preview, oh, do they have a passing attack at all where they could do something like this, or are they one-dimensional, just run?
Yeah. But with that said, we're going to close up the high school segment, and we're going to move on to the NFL games, and we're going to review the Thursday night game where the Denver Broncos went to Kansas City and lost again for the 23rd or something time in a row.
Amazingly terrible against the Chiefs.
How?
Well, they're kind of terrible against everybody.
They're terrible
this year
against
year,
everybody this year, but like,
yeah,
man, come on, give me something, dude.
Yeah. So are you still giving a lot of the credit, or like what percent are you giving this to Sean Payton?
I feel like this is,
or just total catastrophic failure kind of thing.
I don't even know.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's such a weird situation. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Like, why is this team so bad? Because they weren't horrible last year. They were just poorly coached.
So the thing that I noticed is their defense was fantastic last year.
Yeah.
So the defense was good. This year, the defense, not so good. You know what I mean? It's had flashes of good games, like this one here. They limited the Chiefs' offense a little bit, but throughout the whole year, their numbers at least are pretty bad. But you look at a team like the Jets, had a great defense for a year. They got 7-8 wins that year that they had that fantastic defense.
Yeah.
So the defense provided you that many games, and the hope was to get Aaron Rodgers to come in and bring you to that 10, 11, 12 games. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. Same thing with the Broncos. They bring in a guy, and it just goes terribly wrong. Not because of injury like Aaron, but because of personality or something.
Yeah.
And so, I personally am going to put a lot of the blame on Russell Wilson's shoulders. He's been – anytime in the offseason you have a guy that's the talk and he's causing drama, it's just not going to go well if your locker room's not in a good place.
Yeah.
My thoughts, at least.
Yeah, it's hard because he didn't have the best year last year, but this year he came out and he hasn't looked bad this year. He, pre this game, he was a co-leading pass touchdown thrower. So
yeah,
it's not.
So he came in a little. I mean, I think he came in a little bit more prepared, and I think I don't know what your thoughts on Nathaniel Hackett are, and the offense they were. I think last year their offense, even for me watching the NFL, it was a very simple offense. Nothing crazy about it. It was just very bland. So this year I think they've got a little more creativity with it, but I think that Sean Payton and Russell Wilson are just not a compatible mix.
Yeah, I don't think Russ fits into Sean's system quite like Drew Brees or Jameis Winston did. But let's talk about the Chiefs because man,
you worried about them?
They didn't look good. Their offense did not look good.
Yeah. So how much of this do you credit to the fact that they may have thought, okay, we got rid of Tyreek and we were fine. We were able to go in. And so now who was on their team as a receiver? Who do they have?
They have Travis.
That's not a receiver. That's what I'm saying. Who do they have?
He's a receiver. He's not a tight end.
Okay.
He's not when you line up in the slide, you're not a tight end.
On the roster, technically.
Roster.
As a roster receiver,
they have
who do they
Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
Okay.
Don't know if he ever touches the ball. I don't think he did. It's Rice. I don't know his first name.
Rookie, I think, right?
Yeah, rookie guy.
Not performing as well as they thought.
No, he's doing something.
That last game, I think
he's not getting involved as much as people want him to be.
Okay.
Kadarius Toney.
Mr. Drops.
Yeah.
Kadarius Hands of Stoney.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are about all I know.
Yeah. So that's the thing. They don't have the weapons they used to.
You have Travis Kelce.
You do. But
what did Aaron Rodgers have?
But he's rolling.
What did
his
Aaron
ankle.
Rodgers have last year? Nothing.
Not much.
Nothing.
I mean,
what did Tom Brady have pre-Bucks?
I mean,
nothing.
But did he win Super Bowls those years? I mean, most of the times when Brady won a Super Bowl is because he had Gronk or he had somebody else. Maybe not someone fantastic, but he had some dudes.
That's what I'm saying, though. Patrick Mahomes might not be as good as Tom Brady was.
I mean, obviously, I would say you're not as good as Brady until you have as good a career as Brady.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about different styles of quarterback, Aaron was a better, all around athlete, thrower of the ball. Like he just could do a little bit more than Brady could. Yeah. But Brady won more. I think he brought more like morale to the troops kind of thing, whereas Rodgers just didn't do that as well. So different class, different kinds of players. But if you're talking holistically, I mean, I'm not a Pat Mahomes fan anyway, so I hate Brady. But
I feel like Patrick has not played like Patrick the past few years.
Yeah.
He's making throws that aren't smart. He's making throws late.
Do you think Bieniemy leaving has something to do with that?
Honestly, it might, because Patrick has more control of what the offense does, and maybe Bieniemy was kind of the controller. I mean, they're still a
good team. They've got a lot of talent,
whatever it is.
Yeah.
So,
but it doesn't have the same feeling. Like
no,
they're not controlling games.
They're not dominant like they have been.
Yeah, which the Eagles aren't either. They haven't had that kind of feel this year either.
But you know who is? We'll get to that later.
Okay.
We're gonna move on to our pick'ems, shall you say?
Oh, we are. Okay.
And we've done some inner matchups with our pick'ems, and we've had better days.
Yes.
Speaking of better days, let's hope tomorrow's a better day for me.
Yep.
First game is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Tennessee Titans. And this game's in London. Both of these teams are traveling to London this week. And as of injuries, I don't see any major injuries.
Well, except OBJ still out, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. I said major injuries.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just assumed, I guess, right?
Yeah.
He's perpetually injured at this point in his career.
Mm-hmm. Home game for the Titans, so maybe we'll see some, I don't know,
heroics.
Yeah.
Like they've done a couple times. Like, how are you guys in this game?
Yeah.
But I honestly, both of these teams are gritty. Both of these teams like to run the ball, and so I'm gonna take Baltimore. I think they're the better team. I think they're a good team, actually.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's kind of quietly having a great year. He's had a lot of receiver problems, like he's had his whole career. They're just not. He didn't have any good one. I mean, a lot of drops.
A lot of drops last week.
A lot of problems. Sure. So I'm gonna take them to win, but I'm not gonna take them to win by more than 5.5.
Yeah. It's kind of scary going to a foreign place that's not in the same continent as you. So traveling across the sea is a little because you don't know whether the game's going to be close or not. And like we saw last week, Buffalo lost.
That's true.
It's kind of weird. I want to touch on that real quick. What do you think about the Jags having back-to-back games in London to where they didn't have to travel?
I think it's kind of fair in the sense that you're in London again, and it's not. I mean, it's obviously not as preferred as being back in the States, I guess. But I don't know. I mean,
I feel like it's a disadvantage for the Bills.
Yeah, definitely a disadvantage for the team that's having to go that distance again. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like the more that the NFL goes into different markets like this, that it'll just kind of it's just easier schedule wise to have one team stay and stuff like that. So
financially.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, it's definitely an advantage to the Jags in that.
I'm also going to take the Ravens in this one.
Don't start picking every team.
I'm not. Bro. I'll pick first this next game.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be.
But I just don't trust the Titans.
Yeah.
Until they get back-to-back wins, I'm not going to trust them. They lost against the Colts last week. Both these teams coming off losses, so we'll see how it goes, who wants to win more. And right now I think Baltimore wants to win more.
Well, I mean, they're certainly the team that has the most expectations.
Yeah. The next game is the San Francisco 49ers versus the Deshaun Watson-less Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty easy game to pick a winner.
I'm picking the 49ers, by the way.
Okay. Well, that's not fair. I mean, we should.
Are you gonna copy me?
Oh, okay. I should have just said it first. Okay.
Yeah. So who are you going with?
Yeah. Well, I'm going with the Cleveland. No, I'm just kidding. 49ers.
Yeah. There's not too much to touch on this. How much do you think they're gonna win by? Because 9.5 seems pretty generous.
Generous?
Yeah. Like.
I could see it being. I could see it being
like 40.
Yeah, I could see. I could see it being a 20+ point game.
Yeah,
but I could also kind of see it being 10 points. I mean, I really could. With under 10.
Yeah, I would definitely throw like $20 on this, for sure.
Yeah,
just throw $20 on it, and you get. Come on, you get $38 total. So.
There you go. You can buy yourself
dinner or a brand new tire.
Don't be salty, bro.
I'm so
you can't
salty.
buy a tire for that much.
It was a joke, all right?
Uh-huh.
A patch for my tire, maybe.
You wish.
I do. Let's move on to another game that shouldn't be close. The Carolina Panthers versus the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, the line on this game is crazy, dude. Like,
yeah,
that's for an NFL game. That's kind of sad. And a lot of faith in the Dolphins after their loss to the Bills and things. Which, I mean, this is Carolina we're talking about. So
yeah, they answered back pretty well with a 15-point win against the Giants. Yeah, how do you feel now?
I really am just looking forward to. A better quarterback, a better team, a better year.
Fair enough.
Better decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not too much to talk about in this game.
No.
Let's see how Bryce Young does this week. Is it too early for him to be playing? Like, what does this do to a guy's morale being 0-5 as a rookie? The number one pick, I thought.
As far as the quarterback goes, I don't think that it's bad at all to play a quarterback unless he's getting beat up.
Mm-hmm.
So you think of like Andrew Luck. He got beat up so much in his career that it damaged his career long term. If Bryce is out there and he's able to have some protection, but he's just struggling to make reads and whatever, I'm fine with that. But if he's out there getting beat up, getting hurt, he's a small guy anyways, so he's not built to take a lot of hits. So
he's already been sacked 12 times this year in 4 games he's played.
I don't want to hear about it.
I know.
Daniel Jones literally gets assaulted every time he snaps the ball.
But he's a rookie, getting pressured 12 times or getting sacked 12 times.
Yeah,
man, like give a guy a break or something. Like I don't know what Andy Dalton did differently, but
he's tall. He can see over the line of scrimmage. That's my theory.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So Dolphins for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Here's an interesting game.
Okay.
We've got an NFC North matchup against the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears.
Ooh, what a turn of a season for the Bears, dude. They are coming for the Lions, really. Yeah. Justin Fields coming out here. He's going to play MVP level the second.
Bro, they played the Washington Commanders.
Hey, a win's a win, right?
A win is a win. But when you're the Chicago Bears, you're only getting one.
He's been playing better, though.
He's been playing better, but I don't care.
So hear my theory on this, okay? The Chicago Bears going against the Vikings at home, as far as I understand, and it's gonna be rainy. And what do the Vikings? What are they known for? Passing offense, bad defense.
Not to mention Justin Jefferson
not playing.
Gone.
I don't know how they're favored in this game. I mean, I know it's the Bears, but honestly, I'm taking the Bears in this game. I like the fact that they can run the ball a little bit more, and that they and their quarterback is a running quarterback. I think that actually helps them in this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad that you chose the Bears because I was totally gonna flip last second and then choose the Bears.
Bro, you can't fool me. Reverse psychology doesn't work on me.
Bro. Yeah, I like the Bears. Dude, I don't want to do it, but
copycat.
Who else is there? Like, there's nobody else, man.
You just got to believe in Kirk, man. You like that?
No, I don't like that.
You like that?
I don't like that. I don't like the Vikings. I don't like the Bears. Bears. We're moving on.
Speaking of Kirk, have you watched I think it's a Netflix series, the Quarterback?
Yeah.
Have you watched it all the way through?
I have not watched any of it.
My wife and I started to watch that.
Yeah.
We watched the first episode, and it's kind of interesting. It's kind of funny because you have Patrick Mahomes, who's probably he really is the greatest quarterback experience in the NFL for the past
right now,
couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for a while. Part of possibly a dynasty maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that level. Then you got Kirk, who's always made fun of his entire career for whatever reason. And then you got Marcus Mariota, and he's like, so it's funny because you just see three different levels of it.
Yeah, because he's a backup right now.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was just kind of
funny. Next game, really an interesting one. Seattle Seahawks go to Cincinnati and face on the Bengals after a bye week for Seattle.
Do you want to pick first so you can't be a copycat? I feel strongly about this game.
I'm taking the Seahawks.
Wow.
Off a bye week. I like the Seahawks. I
you
don't
like Pete Carroll and his process.
I don't like what I've seen from the Bengals this year. Granted, they are coming off a win, but
so here's the thing. The last 2 years, I think the Bengals have been awful in September every single year. And why? Joe Burrow has not been healthy. But in his last game, he comes in and he is absolutely playing at a high level again. And so for me, they've got talent, they've got the better team, and I think that they're going to go on at least a 6-game winning streak here.
You think?
I think so.
No. They're not winning this game. Throw it back 2 weeks ago when they were playing the Titans, a little bit better of a team than the Arizona Cardinals.
Well,
and they got smoked.
Yeah, well, it was. But what month was it in?
It was September.
There you go.
Wait, It was October.
Okay, well, the very end of September, beginning
October
of
1st.
October. So barely. Okay,
no,
so
it was October.
Yeah.
You said September. Book it. Dominic's a liar.
Uh-huh.
So you're going Bengals.
Well, I may be a liar, but I'm right about this pick. So,
I don't think so. Absolutely not. Let's move on to our next game.
Okay.
We are flying through these games today. Still on the 12 p.m. games. This one's the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep. I'm since you picked first last time.
Yep.
I'm going.
You do the honors.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jags. I like them. Coming off a good win. Trevor Lawrence playing well. I like him. I know the Colts have been playing well too, but I think, has Anthony Richardson thrown an interception?
He's out this game.
Oh, he is. Oh, yeah. Concussion?
He's on the IR for a shoulder injury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, with that said,
you're gonna copy.
I'm also gonna copy you and take the Jacksonville Jaguars, bro.
I know. I mean, what do you do?
They just came off a huge win against the Bills.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned earlier, 5-point win against the Bills, who we thought were back and gonna roll the Jags.
Right.
And then here we are. They're not doing anything. So
yeah. Especially if Anthony Richardson's not playing. There's not much of another.
Gardner Minshew did play last week, and they beat the Titans, but it's the Titans. It's a divisional game.
And it's Gardner Minshew.
Zach Moss, dog.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, put him on the bench.
Oh man.
Bro, I love Zach Moss. I feel so bad for him because he's played lights out this year, and then Jonathan Taylor's like, all right, I'll take a little bit less.
I'm gonna lose my job.
Yeah. So, yeah. Although this game, I feel like we could see the Colts win, but I'm going to go Jags.
Yeah.
Next game, the New Orleans Saints go into Houston and take on the Texans. And this one is very interesting to me because the Houston Texans have looked like a football team this year.
Yeah, not bad, actually.
last week they choked. They should be 3-2 right now, going in 3 wins in a row. And then you look on the other side where the Saints absolutely annihilated the Patriots, 34-0. And that game right there is what throws me for a loop, because I'm like, who do I pick now? Because the Saints haven't looked great. They've won really close games and lost really close games. And they've gotten beat bad by Baker Mayfield. And then they go in and destroy Mac Jones. So
yeah. So in that Patriots game, what was it? At least one defensive touchdown.
Yeah.
But maybe 2. Mm-hmm. Was there 2?
I think there's 2.
Okay, yeah, because there was, I don't know, maybe it was a special teams or something.
There was an interception at the beginning.
The pick 6 where he threw it across the field.
Yeah. Okay, that was it. There was
just that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that the Saints defense is really good, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So this is who I was thinking of, not Anthony Richardson. C.J. Stroud hasn't thrown an interception this year.
Yes, that's correct.
He is the one who's been playing lights out. I'm predicting he's going to throw his first interception in this game, but I'm going to take him to win. What are you going to do?
I'm so glad you picked them, because I really wanted to pick them. But since you picked them, I'm going Saints.
Just because, yeah.
Yeah, well, so I'm going to get an extra point here because you're going to be wrong this week. And
we'll see. Hey, I like C.J. Stroud. I think he's a great guy.
I had every intentions on picking the opposite of whoever you chose here because
it's such a low spread.
Yeah, it's not even the spread. I don't care about that. I'm just off matchups. It's like either one of these teams can win. It just depends on who's playing more clean football, because Derek Carr looked good last week, and
yeah.
Whichever team doesn't turn over the ball is going to win.
Well, since I just predicted the first interception of his NFL career, maybe that doesn't bode well for me. But
yeah.
No, I like him. I saw a video maybe a week or so ago, and a lot of guys in the league go and talk about like their faith, all credit to God and everything.
Yeah.
But he had an interview where he was very open about his faith and a little bit more explicit about it. And so I like seeing that. I think that that's a really good thing for the league. And
definitely in this day and age, it's not a popular thing to see people talk about for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if they do, it's just kind of like, just want to give credit to God. All right, moving on.
And then, because you don't want to get
in trouble. Yeah.
And it's ridiculous, but it's the new world, so got to get used to it. Not to quickly move on from that or anything, but trying to get out of here at a decent time. The Washington Commanders go into Atlanta taking on the 3-2 Falcons. I've got the Falcons in this one, and the reason why, the Washington Commanders suck. They suck. How do they have 2 wins? Because they played the Arizona Cardinals and the Denver Broncos. Case closed. Your take.
What? So, which game is this in? Where are you at?
The Commanders and Falcons.
Commanders, Falcons, or Bucks?
And am I
looking at the wrong date here?
Bro, you might be looking at the wrong date.
Okay, I think I am.
You are. It's after the Saints Falcons or Saints Texans. Bro, we were doing so good.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure this out in post. Nah. Okay. Yep. I kept scrolling down and I was looking at the wrong thing.
Okay. Yeah.
It's for whatever reason it's not in the same order as yours. Still.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting. But yeah, Commanders at Falcons.
So yeah. I mean, just because you did the same thing to me, I have to go the opposite, and I believe that this game really could go either way. Obviously, Desmond Ridder is not elite at any level.
He looked good last week.
Yeah. He's allowed one good game a year.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I said that last week.
So one thing that I think that has helped the Commanders, they're not a great team, obviously, but this is Bieniemy, right? Offensive coordinator come here. And,
yep.
So I like what he's doing. I believe he's a great coach and he can get a good scheme. So, I don't feel too queasy about picking the Commanders here.
I think you should. Yeah. As somebody who has not picked the Falcons like ever because I don't like Desmond Ridder, I'm trusting him this week.
Yeah, well, I'll shout out to my brother-in-law. I think he's a Falcons fan, so he'll be happy to hear your pick.
Yeah, absolutely, Cody. You are welcome.
Yeah.
And with that said, let's move on to our first 3 o'clock game, our afternoon games. And the New England Patriots go in and they take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Before you say anything, the screen, like the preview screen of this video for the game, is Mac Jones with prayer hands.
Oh my. Well, I mean, yeah, that about sums it up. I think we'll agree on this game.
Probably.
Yeah, Raiders. This is my pick.
Yeah.
I've got them winning. I've actually got them winning by 10.
By 10?
Yeah.
I can see like 7 or 8 for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like it's going to be a touchdown game. Like we've said, the Patriots just don't look good. Mac Jones. No.
Poor guy.
No.
Also, don't like him. I do not appreciate what do you call it, bad sportsmanship or whatever.
Yeah.
He's had some dirty plays. I don't like that.
Has he?
Yeah.
I haven't paid too much attention to
I've just seen a couple
bad
clips.
players.
Yeah, and he's just one of those guys who takes a couple cheap shots.
Oh, really?
And I don't respect that. I don't even think your own teammates respect that.
Yeah.
Like, I get it if you go and get in someone's face and try and defend your guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of football. And you want to see a guy fired up. But you do not – nobody respects, I think, those kind of cheap shots and
stuff. Raiders, last week they came in and beat the Packers. And granted, I think the Packers should have went in there and won that game. But they played a little sloppy. Raiders didn't look great, didn't look horrible, just kind of won the game is what they did, and that's what you got to do at some point in the game. So
yeah. I haven't kept track of the Raiders too much. Is Jimmy G still in? Is he still in?
Yeah,
okay,
he is still playing. Hasn't looked or done anything great. He's thrown for 917 yards, 6 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
I was baffled when they did it, and I'm still baffled. I don't know why you move off of Derek Carr, other than
why don't you go for Aaron? Like, honestly, that conversation's already happened. So
I don't like Jimmy G.
No, I've never liked him. He's
overrated,
absolutely,
by a long shot.
I have a friend who's a huge Jimmy G fan, and I'm just like, please stop. I don't like it. But yeah, Raiders, Josh Jacobs, please carry my football team, please. Yeah.
Yep.
Next game is, I believe it might be our America's game of the week. It's the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Jets. So this one, I'm going to do it.
Don't do it.
The Philadelphia Eagles are winning the football game.
Okay. Well, big surprise. Yep, same. I'm going to pick the Eagles. I think the Jets have played kind of scrappy and really strong, but it's Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Against a good defense, it's Zach Wilson. He's not going to score more than 14 points for them, and unless the defense scores twice, the Eagles are going to score 20-plus points in this game.
Yeah. You look at he's had 2 good games in a row, though.
But good games hasn't produced – he hasn't even scored 14 points, has he?
He did against the Chiefs.
Okay, well, one game that he's scored twice, I guess. But yeah, the Eagles' defense is better. So yeah, I've got the Eagles, obviously.
Bro, he played well against.
You picked the Eagles, but then you're like, but Zach Wilson.
I'm trying to get you to bite on the Jets, bro.
Dude, that's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like it could be closer than a touchdown. I feel like it could be a 4 or 5 point game.
Their defense is good, and the Eagles' offense hasn't been fantastic.
Yeah, it hasn't been great.
I've got this game being 24-13.
Let's just go through the Eagles' first 5 games. 1 by 5, 1 by 6, 1 by 14, 1 by 3, 1 by 9.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, not pretty, but they're winning.
Yeah, not like we've said. They just win ball games, and that's what you have to do. So.
Well, in September, October, it's really
it doesn't need to
later
be
in the
pretty.
year. Yeah, you really just got to get healthy, stay healthy. Really is the big
Yeah.
thing, and then win big games late in the year.
Let's move on to the next 325 game, and this one could also be the America's Game of the Week or whatever. Definitely one I'm gonna peek in on occasionally. The Detroit Lions taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and what's a battle for I don't even know what this is a battle for, but beautiful weather in Tampa, Florida. So we're gonna see a huge game here, I think.
Yeah,
A high scoring game.
Do you? I mean, being a Packers fan and everything, I'm just curious. Do you buy into the Lions? You think they're like, obviously? I think it's pretty clear that they're the best in the division. But as far as like a legitimate playoff team,
No,
you don't buy into them.
I don't think they'll. I don't think they have enough experience outside of Jared Goff to win a playoff game.
I mean, yeah, probably not. But are they a young team? I feel like they are. But
I would
I'm not
say
sure.
they're more young than old.
Okay. The Bucks are definitely. I mean, their season.
They're
Yeah.
If Baker Mayfield plays like Baker Mayfield knows how to play, they might win this game.
Yeah. Well,
At home too.
that's always the question.
I'm gonna let you take this pick first.
Okay, I'm taking Lions.
You taking the Lions?
Yeah, I am. I low key believe in them because I kind of believe in Dan Campbell a little bit, and then I think that you take the better quarterback in this game. Just my gut feeling.
Yeah. He's definitely thrown the ball pretty well compared to Baker. The run game for the Bucks hasn't been great, so that kind of puts me on the little worried side. So I'm gonna copy you and go with the Lions.
What a bum.
I know,
Yeah.
but I've got to win. I'm playing for the win. I'm playing to go 17 or whatever.
Yeah.
There's only 15 games this
Hey,
week.
you can't lose if you pick the same picks as me. You got to respect it. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and just jump on it right now. We're going to just go ahead and spend all of 5 seconds on it. Buffalo Bills. I'm just gonna let you know I'm not picking I'm not picking my my home team.
Bro, we're not even there yet.
I'm just letting you know.
We're not there yet.
I'm letting you know.
We've got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams, and what should be a horrible game.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Arizona's played decent. They've played at least at a competitive NFL team, and you got to respect that. I like the fact that the NFL they have every reason to be tanking or whatever, but they're playing well, and I like that. I really respect it. I like the Rams, though. I think I've told you a couple of times this year I've actually liked them, so I like them, but I expect this game to be 7 points or under. Yeah,
you expect it to be
kind of close.
Close.
Yeah, one possession game.
There's no James Conner for the Cardinals. Rams by probably 10 plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't believe in Dobbs?
I don't. Not without James Conner.
Yeah.
That's
fair enough.
And Marquise Brown is questionable, so we've got to play into that, because that one time we both picked the Browns, and then Deshaun's like, you know what? I'm not playing.
Yeah.
So we've got to kind of take that into our predictions and hope for the best there. All right, let's move on to the worst Sunday night football game in the history of the NFL. And
it might be.
It's the New York Football Giants versus the New York Buffalo Bills.
The only question I have is, do we score more than 10 points? That's the only question I have.
a minus 15 spread, bro.
It's embarrassing.
That is so embarrassing. And you got to take the spread. You got to take the Bills at minus 15. You look at the last 3 games for the Giants, and they've lost by 15 each game. In fact, every game they've lost has been by 15.
Well, I mean, I think we're breaking records this year on how many points have been scored in the first half of a game.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like watching Lamar play. You get up by 30 points and then you just feel bad for him. So you play your backups. I mean, it's bad. So, anyways, I don't even want to talk about this anymore.
I want to dive deep into this one. let's take a look at the injury chart, and your offensive tackle's out, your offensive tackle's out, your center's out, your offensive tackle's questionable, and your linebacker's on IR.
There's not much we can do, man. I mean, even if they're healthy, they're not good.
How many times?
So, yeah.
How many times?
How many times what?
Daniel Jones.
Oh, sacked?
Yeah, isn't it?
It's like 28.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
Let me how about you stall so I can go into the
Okay, you want me to stall?
Yeah.
All right,
I want you to stall.
Okay, I'm going to stall and look right into the camera and just say the New York Giants are a pitiful, miserable team this year, and I think that it's just time that we admit that Saquon Barkley is a great running back, and he's been loyal to the franchise and all of these things.
It's 28. You can stop. 28.
Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Get rid of Saquon.
You were starting to be a little too delusional for me, so 28 times.
Dude, I literally said it, 28.
I know. 28 in 5 games, bro. What's going on? It's so bad. Anyways, I'm going to take the New York Football Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we're going to move on to
interesting game.
Great game. Like
very excited to watch
this game's going to be fun to watch Monday night. I'll obviously be at Swim for the first part of it.
Yeah.
Which I hate. Absolutely hate being at Swim for Monday and Thursday nights.
Hey, it's all right. I missed the Friday night high school game. You're going to miss the first part of this game.
Yeah, but I'll go back and watch it, so it's fine. I'll probably be walking across the side of the pool with my phone in my hand. Yeah, keep kicking.
Yeah.
Oh, Swim. But yeah, this game's honestly interesting, and I'm gonna choose first.
Okay, go for it.
But let's talk about it for a little bit.
So my interesting perspective on this is that the loser of this game, the head coach gets fired, not immediately, but the loser of this game, the coach of that team gets fired before the other.
Really?
That I just think. This is such an important game for both teams at this point in the year.
Yeah.
Dallas needs this win, but the Chargers really need this win too. And so I think it's going to come, it would just be ironic if it came down to like a 4th and 1 decision and one of the coaches has to make that kind of a choice.
Yeah.
Or clock management at the end of the game
and
or
we know
something.
Who's going to lose that.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we really? Okay, so if it's going for it on 4th and something, we know who's going to make the wrong choice. Mm-hmm. But if it's 2 minutes left in clock management,
yeah,
I mean,
we just don't know which situation's going to happen.
Exactly.
That's the toss-up. We know who's going to make which mistake. Yeah. We just don't know what situation's going to pop up. With that being said, I've been a big fan of this guy since the start of his career, and with his team starting to get a little bit healthier, coming off a bye week. Austin Eckler, Justin Herbert, let's go Chargers!
Man, I really don't like that.
I know you don't, which is why I went with them, because they're going to win the game, and that means you have to pick the Cowboys if you want to be different.
I do not like the Cowboys.
They've honestly not looked bad this year, though, man. They get slaughtered against the 49ers, but...
The only real team they've played.
Yeah,
I mean, who else have they played that you're like, that's a great game?
The Giants.
The Patriots, the Giants, the Jets. Yeah.
The Cardinals.
So they blow out terrible teams, but then they get blown out by a real, maybe a Super Bowl favorite.
And maybe they just weren't prepared for the best team in the NFL.
They have lost to this team, 2 or 3 straight years in the playoffs? How are you not ready for the exact same team that you keep losing to?
Because they're just that good of a team, bro.
It's not
the 49ers only get better.
That's not being ready. That's just being outplayed, outcoached. That's what's happening. I don't know. I really don't know who's going to win this game. I'm going to say primetime game. I'm going to go Justin Herbert.
Yep.
You go with the better quarterback.
You have to.
Dak doesn't play well. If the game is close and it's on him, he's not as good as if he's playing with the lead in a run game.
Yeah.
I think the statistic is crazy. He throws more than 25 attempts a game or something, and his passer rating goes to a below average quarterback. Mm-hmm. If he throws under 25 or 27 attempts, he's one of the premier quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the Chargers, unless it's 4th and something and a choice has to be made.
I look at it from the running standpoint, and Austin Eckler coming back. They haven't done great on the run without Eckler, but with him back, he's a force to be reckoned with. My fantasy team thanks him for coming back.
Yep,
and
there you go. So, interesting hypothetical. If Diggs is healthy for this game, does that change your opinion?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Okay.
I think Keenan Allen's having a career year, and saying that this late in his career is
Hall of Famer?
crazy. I don't want to get there yet.
Okay.
Potentially.
Okay. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Later in the season, we'll see. If he has a good season, I can see it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our last segment. And this is our first time doing this ever.
Oh, boy.
And we're going to do a daily fantasy football draft. So we're going to do it where, did I say I'm going to let you choose whether you pick first or second, and then we'll do a snake draft. So like if you say I pick first, I'll pick first, you pick second, third. And we're just going to do we're going to go from quarter let's just do it however you want to do it. So
however I want to do it.
Yeah, if you want to pick If you want to pick quarterback, pick quarterback. If you want to pick wide receiver, pick wide receiver. And
okay.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'm going to defer and receive kickoff in the second half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, with this being said, that puts me on the clock, and we're gonna do you got 30 seconds to pick.
30 seconds.
So you should be on the clock right now. You look at this, and I instantly go to the Carolina game, and Raheem Mostert is looking like the best option for running back. So at 6,400, I'm going to take Raheem Mostert.
Okay.
Putting you on the clock.
Okay, so just so I understand, I can pick any position.
Yes, any position.
At any point.
Yep.
Okay. So let me look at my list here that I made that I am 100% confident in because I know exactly what I'm doing in all of this. Okay, so for my first pick, I really believe in this game. I picked them to win. And so I'm gonna go with Ja'Marr Chase here.
Ja'Marr Chase,
Yes,
interesting
sir.
pick. High salary, and that puts you on the clock again.
All right. So for my second pick here, I'm gonna go look at my list and another game that I picked this team to win. I'm gonna go with my boy Travis Etienne.
Okay, Travis, I like that pick. You started to round off your team a little well, and with that being said, I'm going to have to take a team we both picked, and not a team, but a player that we both picked, and I'm gonna go with the tight end position.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with Cole Kmet.
So interesting choice, just to say it.
Yeah.
And my thought process with this was pick the tight end probably last because unless you're taking Kelsey, I just don't know what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
But bold choice, I think.
Yeah,
going for a tight end.
I agree, and I thought about it, but being on the clock with 30 seconds, I kind of choked under pressure. But
oh man,
but there is a strategy behind this.
Oh sure.
And you want to know why?
The strategy is losing,
I'm
right?
Double dipping in Chicago because I hate them so much. Give me Justin Fields at quarterback.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
And now you're on the clock.
All right. So this is I get one.
You get 2 picks.
Oh, we're going 2 and 2. Okay. Now that I'm on the clock, I am not going to mimic your choking effort there, and I'm going to go. Ooh, tough call here. I get 2 picks, right? So I'm gonna go Raheem Mostert.
I chose him first.
Oh, you already picked him?
Yeah,
Man.
that was my first pick.
Okay. Well, I couldn't remember that far back. So I didn't choke, but I just had a complete blunder.
He just had a blunder.
Yeah, that's okay.
Which is worse.
All right, so that changes my pick here, obviously. To buy myself some time because I know I'm late, I'm going to pick Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, we've got to give him some we've got to give it to Dominic. This is his first time ever doing his own for his first daily fantasy team. So
yeah, and it'll be the first time I beat you. So.
And I'm giving him a lot of pressure by putting 30 seconds on, which are now down to 25.
No, reset.
I know you're down to 25.
Oh, okay.
Now 24.
Well, that's
23,
really
22, 21, 20, 19.
All right, you picked
18,
Mostert.
17. Yeah, 16, 15.
You're
14,
counting extremely
13,
fast here.
12 Mississippi, 11 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi, 9. All right, I'm stopping.
Okay. I am going to take Mixon. That's my running back.
Mixon. So you're like hardcore dipping into the Cincinnati Bengals without Joe Burrow as quarterback.
Yep.
All right. So with that said, I'm going to choose. This is crazy because I really don't know who to choose. But I'm gonna go with a guy who's played pretty well all season long, and he's going up against a somewhat tough defense in the New York Jets, but they do give up a lot of points against the run. So DeAndre Swift, welcome to the team.
Alrighty.
And with that also said, I want to go ahead and get my defense because this team's going to obviously have the most points. The San Francisco 49ers.
The 49ers. Yep, good point. All right. So that puts me back on the clock here. I am going to look at needing to get some receivers, tight end. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to have to keep going with this this guy here. I don't know what to expect, but I like him as a player, and so I'm just going to go with him. I'm going to pick Thielen.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
The moment you said, I'm going to keep going with this guy, I knew who it was.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, but...
But you choked?
No, I didn't choke.
Oh, okay.
I just...
Okay.
Not in my budget right now.
Not in your budget.
Yep. Yeah, so you're still on the clock. You got one more pick with wide receiver, tight end, flex, and defense on the board.
Okay. For my tight end, I'm just going to go ahead. I don't know what to expect.
This is a great pick.
I'm going Logan Thomas.
That is a great pick. I absolutely respect all of that pick.
Well, thank you.
He's played very well this year.
Yeah.
He's been Sam Howell's only consistent catcher. So
rookie quarterback, tight end.
Second-year quarterback.
Okay. Second-year quarterback, tight end.
Yeah.
Obviously your safety.
Yep. Obviously. That's a great pick. I'm also going to go with the team we both picked, another NFC North team. It's going to be Josh Reynolds.
Josh Reynolds.
Yep.
Okay.
Second wide receiver for the Lions. I like the matchup against the Bucs. I said it's going to be a high-scoring game, so obviously I have to pick him. And I don't know if Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be good.
Do the Bucs have a lockdown top-tier corner?
I feel like they do, but it's not consistent.
Okay, because if they don't, I like the pick because you got to double most of the time, and that leaves a second option. So
I feel like it depends on. And then with that said, I also need another wide receiver, and I'm going to go to another high-scoring game this weekend, and we're going to go to Seattle, and we are going to not pick any of those guys. I lied. We're going to New England, and we're going to take the young mastermind, Nico Collins.
Oh, I like it. Okay, Nico Collins. Okay, that's your two?
Yep.
All right. Well, you got to take a budget pick eventually. So, for my defense, you say it's going to be high scoring. I think it might even if it's high scoring, it's going to be lopsided. So I'm going to take the Lions defense. I think Baker throws a couple interceptions. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of. He's been playing all right, but just not going to buy it. All right, so I'm going to go Lions defense, and then let's see who else we're going to pick here. Who do I need? A receiver and a flex? Okay. I don't like that pick.
It starts to get scary once you realize you got a budget, doesn't it?
Well, I'm not worried about my budget. I've got a decent amount remaining.
You got $5,000 per player.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Okay. I mean, do I go with him? Where am I at here? 5,300. Let me get down here. Notice how I've been courteous to you this whole time and not been giving you a countdown. So I'm just saying that you can notice that.
Yeah. Okay. I will notice that and start counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Terry McLaurin.
I don't like that pick.
You don't like it?
You're going with the tight end, and then you're going with a wide receiver from the same team?
Yeah. Why not?
Because
it's Atlanta.
The Washington Commanders suck.
That doesn't mean that they're individual players.
They suck. Terry McLaurin, horrible.
Okay, well,
very inconsistent. Thank you for this free W. As I take a team or a member from the other team, and I'm going to take Drake London.
Drake London. Well,
and with that said, I am now on the clock with 6,700 left in the bag, and I'm narrowing this down between two players, both at 6,700, and it's pretty much Kenneth Walker or Calvin Ridley. And at this point, I have no idea who I want to pick, and I just, who's going to be better? So I think the matchup against Seattle or against Cincinnati for Seattle is pretty good. I think the Jags will handle the Colts rather easily, or they won't win. So I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker to round out my team.
Okay. Well, do you feel good about your team?
Yeah. Who's your final pick here?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a second. Mm-hmm. I'm just asking if you feel good because I need time to think.
Because you need time to think.
Yeah. So just honestly, expound. Tell me how you feel.
Honestly, I feel really good about my team. I like the stack I put with quarterback and tight end. Honestly, like you said, Justin Fields is gonna have a day, and for 7,300, not a bad choice. Obviously, the third highest quarterback, but you take what you can get, and I know you're struggling because your balance of 4,600 does not leave you with any good players. And
I didn't like him in New York.
Yeah,
he's touchdown dependent. Mm-hmm. It could happen. I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm going Evan Ingram.
As a flex, you have chosen a tight end. That is risky business, but we will see how this plays out this week.
We will see it.
And so just to go over the teams one more time, my team is Justin Fields, Raheem Mostert, DeAndre Swift, Nico Collins, Drake London, Josh Reynolds, Cole Kmet, Kenneth Walker, and the 49ers defense. And your team is?
I got Matt Stafford, Travis Etienne, Joe Mixon. I like the Cincinnati game for some reason. So Jamar Chase, Adam Thielen, Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas, Evan Ingrams, and the good old trusty Detroit Lions defense. Good old budget pick.
You gonna bite off them kneecaps?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You might be eating that for dinner because your team sucks, bro.
Hey, my defensive pick is primarily based off of Baker Mayfield. That's basically it.
I don't like putting my hand or the things that I pick in the hands of Baker Mayfield.
Listen, dude. His entire career, he's been an interception machine, so got to believe.
All right. Well, with that said, we're going to go ahead and end it here, and this has been the third episode of the DK Podcast, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week for hopefully an interview with the senior and our preview of the senior game against Hollister. Any final words from you?
Go Bills.
Go Bills. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and we will see you all next week.